I'm sharing my screen. Okay, let's open the Eclipse ID. So last class we have discussed like what is Java, how will run a simple hello world Java program, right? In Eclipse or in simple Notepad. Like if you'll write any program in Notepad, how will run that program and how will get it output and how internally it works. Then we have seen some features, some special like main features in Java, like why will choose Java programming language instead like we have different programming languages, right? Okay, so today we'll discuss some other features that we have. Okay, so let me open that paint. Okay, so let me add one. Oh, it's not. Yeah, now we have. So one of the like most important feature in Java is this one. Like Java is platform independent language. Okay. I will see like why Java is platform independent language. Okay. So we have different programming language, right? For example, we have C, we have uh, C, and we have C sharp, or you can say C plus plus like that, right? So why Java is platform independent? So when you run this Java program, right? Yesterday we have run that program via Eclipse IDE and via command prompt as well. Like we have written that code in Notepad and we have run that program, right? So once we'll run this program, right? What happens after compilation? When you are running that Java program, right? So what is the first process? First they will compile that program, right? And after compilation they will convert that code into Java bytecode format, correct? And then it will go to that machine code, then machine will understand okay what logic you have added into that program, then you will be able to see that output, right? So after compilation, what happens here? After compilation, with the help of JVM, they will create one dot class file. Okay. So when we'll compile any Java program, they will create one dot class file. If you'll see, if I'll minimize this one, so yesterday we have created this hello world.java file. Okay. And inside this class, we have written these program. We have created this class and we have just written system.out.println. It will print that hello world class. So when we are compiling this program, after that, what happens? So after compiling that Java program, we'll get this one dot class file. Then now, what is this dot class file? So after compilation, that JV with the help of JVM, they will create one dot class file for that same class. We have instead we have created this hello world class, hello world dot Java file, correct? So they have created hello world world dot class file. What is this dot class file? Let me give you one example, one real-time example. Let me add some more. Okay, so let me create one another box here, right? So we have different operating system, right? So let me give one different name here. Let's say we have Windows. Okay, we have Linux with operating system as well. We have Mac OS as well, right? So for Windows, if you want to install, like if you want to install any application in Windows, what is the extension of that application? Hello, I'm asking some question. If you are installing any application in Windows operating system, what is the extension for that? Yeah. So when you are trying to install any application in Windows, their extension is .exe. It means that .exe file we can only use in Windows operating system, right? Windows operating system. If we'll go to Linux, Linux is one operating system, Mac is one operating system, right? For Linux, if you want to install any application, their extension is different. If you want to install any application in Mac, their extension is different. Okay, their extension is sorry, is different. Oh, right? So for Windows we have different extension, for Linux we have different extension, and for Mac we have different extension. So we cannot use that .exe file in Linux or in Mac, or we cannot use Mac any Mac application in Linux or in Windows. It is clear? Okay. So now, yesterday I have given you one task, like you have to install this JDK, right? This JDK in your system. So let me open that. Wait, where is that? Why it's not opening? Okay. So Java JDK. We'll go to this Java site. So if you see here, we have Linux, we have Mac, we have Windows. So when I'll click to this Windows, see here, we have this .exe file. So if we have Windows operating system, we have to install this .exe file. Okay. And when we'll go to this Mac, so Mac we have different extension, this .dmz. Okay, and when we'll go to this Linux, we have different extension, that .rpm. So what is this? For Linux it is a specific. For each operating system, the application extension is specific for that operating system. Okay, so Linux it is different, Mac it is different, Windows it is different. So yesterday I told you that you have to you all have to install that JDK in your system. So you have to install this one, this exe file in your system. Then you will be able to enable your Java virtual machine in your local in your local system or in your laptop, you can say. Okay, so when we'll again come to this topic, so we have different operating system, right? For application I already told you we have .exe, and Linux it is different, and Mac it is different. So what is the relation between these example and this one? So when you are trying to run any Java application, it will create one dot class file, right? Let me add some more. So when you are trying to run any Java application, it will create one dot class file. Okay, that dot class file, let me take this one. So that dot class file, let's say you have created hello world dot java file, right? So after compilation you will get what? You will get hello world dot class. After compilation they will create this dot class file. Okay, so that dot class file is applicable in any operating system. Okay, what does it mean? Let me give one another example. Let me add someone. Yeah, so this dot class file, right? So we have created this hello world dot java file, right? So after compilation what we'll get? We'll get this dot class. So
Yes.
when you are yeah, when you are compiling any Java program, it will create this dot class file. So that dot class file, if you want to run this hello world dot class in different operating system, right? Right now you have created this hello world dot Java file in Windows operating system, right? If you want to run this dot class file in Mac, you will be able to do that. It is correct. So in Mac, we can run this Java program. In Linux operating system, we can run the same Java program. We don't have to change anything. So that dot class file is applicable in any operating system. Correct? So that's why Java is platform independent. In any platform, in any operating system, we can run that program. All right. So that point is clear, or I can, if you have any doubt, I will repeat again.
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. So this one is the like most important feature of Java. So Java is platform independent language. Okay. I've given you their example also. Like we have Windows operating system, we have Linux, we have Mac. So if we'll run that same Java program in Linux, so in Windows we will be able to run that same program. In Mac we will be able to run that same program. In any operating system, if you have executed that Java program, we will be able to run that same program in different operating system as well. Okay, so that's why Java is platform independent programming language. Why C and C++ is not platform independent? Because let me give that example also. Because when you are running any C program, it will create what? It will create one .exe file. Like when you are running that Java program, it will create that dot class file, right? So when you are trying to run any C program, so it will do what? It will create one .exe file. And I told you already that .exe is only applicable in which operating system? If you have run that same if you have run that same C program in Windows, they will create .exe, right? If you run that same, if that same C program in Linux, they will do what? They will create that file with Linux extension. I think that for Linux it is .rpm, and for Mac it is .dmg. Okay, so if you'll run that program in Linux, it will create .rpm, and if you'll run that same program in Mac, it will create .dmg, right? So if you want to run this let me drag to this side. Yeah, so we have for same C program we have this .exe. In Windows, in Linux we have .rpm, and in Mac we have .dmg. So we cannot run this .exe file in Linux, or we cannot run this .rpm file in Windows. So that is the difference. If we have executed that C program in any operating system, we cannot run that same program in different operating systems. So that's why C language is platform dependent and Java is platform independent, because when you are running that program, they will create one dot class file. That dot class file is applicable in any operating system, in Windows, in Linux, in Mac, everywhere. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's say this one is your Java program. All right. This is one operating system. This one is second operating system. This one is third operating system. Okay. So let's say this is Windows, Mac, Linux. Okay. And this one is our Java program. Okay. So when you have compiled this Java program, you will get this dot class file. That dot class file is applicable for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux as well. Okay. And let me give for different programming language as well. So the same, okay, we can copy that same content also. So copy. Okay. So let's say this one is our C program. Okay. So if we have run this C program in our system, it will create, like, let's say if our system is Windows. For Windows, it will create one separate .exe file. And if we have Linux, for Linux, it will create that .rpm. And for Mac, it will create .dmg. Okay, so this .exe, this rpm, this dmz only applicable for that specific that specific operating system. All right, so here I've given you both example. So this one is for Java 1 and this one is for C. So one is our platform dependent and other one is platform independent. So platform independent. Okay, and this one is platform dependent, because that .exe, that .rpm, that .dmg is applicable only for that specific operating system, right? But in Java, that same file is applicable for all operating systems. So it is applicable for Windows, it is applicable for Mac, it is applicable for, oh sorry, Z RPM is for Linux, and DMG is for Mac. Okay, so let me save this one. So this one is third. I will share these notes with you also. So now we have covered that platform independent concept. Okay, now we'll go to the next one. Okay. So now, so now we'll see there is one more concept, one more feature in Java, multi-threading. Okay, what is this multi-threading. By name, maybe you will be able to understand, like multi-threading means multiple. So the thing is that, let's say you have some process or you have some work, okay? So this is your work, okay? Or you can say this, there is one process or let's say this is Amis, okay? And there are 3-4 works that I have to done. So this is first one, this is second one, this is fourth one, and this is, oh sorry, this is fourth one, okay? So this one is process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4. So we have total 4 process, P1, P2, P3 and P4. So in Java, let's say you have written one Java program. This Amis, this red box is nothing. This one is one Java program. Oh, I missed one here. This one is one Java program. So in Java, there is one features in same time. In same time, we can do this P1 work also, this P2 work also, this P3 work also, and this P4 work also. Correct? So that is multi-threading. In same time we are doing multiples of operations. For example, in your laptop, in same time you have played video, you have played audio, and in your browser you have played, like you are doing some other operations also, you are browsing something, right? So in, like you are single person, right? Same time you are doing multiple work. So multi-threading is nothing that it is same. So in same time you are doing multiple things. You are watching some movie also, you are listening some songs also, you are playing some like playing some game also. So same time if you are doing multiple operations, that is nothing, that is multi-threading. Got it? In any doubt on this one?
No, sir.
So
No, sir.
okay, so this one is our multi-threading, and there is one more topic that I will discuss now. Okay, so let me select this one. There is one more topic, that is architecture. Java architecture is neutral. What is this? I am comparing Java with C programming language. Okay, so I am creating two box here. One is this one, another is this one. Oh, so one is for C and one is for Java. Java. Okay. So we have different data types in C and Java as well. Okay, so when we are trying to, let's say, in like in my laptop, my Windows operating system is, let's say I have Windows operating system. Okay, so you heard about this one, right? Windows is 32-bit or 64-bit, like that, right? So I have like someone installed Windows 10 32-bit, someone installed Windows 10 64-bit. So when you are trying to run this C program and you have initialized any variable, so in Java we have different variables. So I am giving one example in C. So let's say you have declared one integer variable, let's say integer num equal to some value 10. Okay, and you have so integer num equal to 10, and it is in 32-bit operating system. So it is in 32-bit operating system, right? And if and you have declared one more variable num2, but that variable is in 64-bit operating system, right? In C programming, you have declared one variable in 32-bit operating system and one variable in 64-bit operating system in Windows 10, right? So when we are declaring, like, we have initialize this variable with 10. Now let me clear like what is this variable. So let's say, let's assume, let not assume, like I am Amish, right? So I have my name, right? I am human. So like my type is I am human. Okay, so Amish is identifying what, this is my name, correct? The same way, when we'll talk about this num and num2, num and num2 is nothing, their type is integer, so I am human, right? So this num is one variable. For example, I am human, okay, men, and my name is Amish. Okay, so this is nothing, this is same. But the difference is, when you have declared, when you have initialized this num equal to 10 in 32-bit operating system, their size, for example, their size is 2 byte. Okay, but if you have installed this 64-bit in your system, and you have declared that same variable in num2 equal to 10, their size will be 4 byte. Okay, so in same operating system, if you have different bit operating system, the size will be different for 32-bit and for 64-bit. So that is the difference in, like, in C. In C we have different, it is a property in C programming language. When we'll come to Java, if we have declared any integer variable, same int num equal to 10 and int num2 equal to 10. Okay, sorry, 10, in any format, like it is in 32-bit or it is in 64-bit. In both places the size will be same for this num and num2 as well, correct? So if we have 32-bit or if we have 64-bit, it doesn't matter, like you have installed 32-bit operating system in your system or 64-bit. Okay, the size will be same in 32-bit and 64-bit as well. So in 32-bit 4 byte, and in 64-bit also 4 byte. So that concept is nothing, that is architecture neutral. It means if we have initialized any variable in Java, like if we have declared any variable in Java, either it is in 32-bit format or 64-bit, their size will be same in both operating system, either it is 32-bit or 64-bit. But when will you move to C programming, and if you have 32-bit and 64-bit operating system, then 32-bit size will be different, 64-bit size will be different. So that is the difference I have given you for Java and C. So that's why Java architecture is neutral and C programming architecture is not neutral, because their size is varying in different operating system, correct? So C language architecture is not neutral because their size is varying in size their size will be different in each operating system. Okay, and when we'll come to Java architecture is neutral. Java architecture is neutral. Why? Because in each operating system, their size will be same. Okay, if we have 32-bit or 64-bit, their size always will be 4 byte. So that is the difference. Okay, that's why Java architecture is neutral. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Someone is okay, no one. So now we'll move to the next topic. So we have covered Java is secure and architecture is neutral. It is platform independent. I also already discussed that one. Okay. So now let me save this one. So this one is fourth. Let me close this one. Create new one. So now we'll discuss variables. Okay. Now what is this variable? Let me highlight it with this red. Okay. So what is variable? So variable is nothing. Variable is a location in memory, like in storage area to hold some data. So if you want to store some data somewhere, right? So let's say you have, let's say you went to market and you bought some vegetable, okay? Right? You bought some dal as well, and you bought sugar, some biscuit, right? So once that vendor will give you these stuff, right? Where you'll put this thing, like you have vegetable, you have some dal, some sugar, and some biscuit, right? So you need some
Bag.
bag or where you will put this thing, and then you will collect those items, right? So you have to store that stuff in somewhere, right? So that variable is nothing, it is same. So a variable is location in memory storage area to hold some data. That bag is for what? To hold some data, this one, correct? So in programming language we have different data types, right? So different data types means like I'm giving you an example for kitchen. Okay, so you have oil bottle. For oil you have different bottle. For some masala you have different bottles, right? So their type is different. So in same way in programming language we have different types, right? So this is 1 2 3 4. What is their type? This is number. Okay, and let's say I have written some name here. So what is the type of this character? So this one is string. So in programming language we will say like their type is string. So if you want to store any character, so for that character we have string data type, right? We have some true and false value, right? So for true false we have boolean data
Boolean.
type. Okay, so in same like we have different data type. I've just mentioned some 2 3 data types here. So for storing some in number type of value we have number data type. So number we have, so number we have different like one is integer int. So in int we can store only this type of value, right? And if we want to store some value with like float or double type of value, means you have 10.50. What is their type? They have after point they have some decimal value, right? So for storing decimal value we have float, we have double as
Boolean.
well. So these are the data types we have in Java, right? For number, we have integer, we have float, we have double. For storing any character, we have string and char as well. Okay, and for storing this true and false, we have this boolean. And we can create our own data type also. While for creating that our own data type, we have enum as well. So these are the variables where we'll store some data into that. Okay, so now we'll see different data types that we have in Java, right? For number, we have different data types. For storing string, for storing character. Now we'll see one by one. Okay, so how we'll store value in number, how we'll store value in string or in character or in boolean data type. Okay, so so you all have installed this Eclipse IDE, right? Or still you are
Yes,
using Notepad?
I am.
Hello,
I'm using Eclipse.
I'm asking to all of you. You all have installed that Eclipse or still you are using Notepad or what?
Installed
Which one?
Eclipse.
Okay, 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 cool.
Sir, I'm using IntelliJ from JetBrains.
Okay, no worry. It is fine. So yesterday we have written this program, right? Like we have just printed this hello world statement in console. So if you are using Eclipse, so there is one console option here. So if you write any system.out.println. So what is this system.out.println? Will for printing any message to console, we are using this statement. Okay. So now we are discussing this variable, right? So what is variable? So variable is nothing. Variable is like where we are storing, like in that variable, they will hold some data. Like a variable is a location in memory in Java storage area. So if we want to store some integer value, okay. So I have declared one int num equal to 10. Okay, so I have initialized this variable, this num variable. What is their data type? Let me wait. Now we will be able to see that, right? So I have created one integer variable where will store only integer value. Okay, if we have any decimal like if we have any decimal value, for example 10.50. So for decimal places, we have float data type, we have double data type. Okay, so I have just initialized this variable with 10, int num equal to 10. Okay, so if you want to print this 10 in console, what we have to do? We have to add this system dot out dot println. It will do what? It will just print that integer this num variable value in the console. So if I'll write num here and if I'll run this program, so there is one run button option also. So if I'll click to this, they will print this 10 in console. Okay, if you want to add any message into that, like before printing this 10, if you want to add any message, so you have to add this message. This is num variable value. Okay, if I'll again run this program, we'll get that message as well. Okay, now we have different variable the different data type also for storing Okay, so double num2 equal to 10.50. Okay, so in this num2 we have stored this decimal value as well. 10.50 is what? It contains some decimal value as well, right? So for storing this decimal value we have this one. So if you want to store this 10.50 in this integer, right, it will give error. What error? If we'll hover to this error, it will say type mismatch, cannot convert from double to int, because 10, what is the data type for this 10.50? It is double one, right? So you cannot store that double data type into integer one. Okay, if you have double value, you have to declare one double variable, then in that variable you can store that value. Okay, so if you want to print this, so just add this system.out.println. So like we'll explain, like I will explain again, like what is this system, what is this out, and what is this println. As of now, just to assume, we'll use system.out.println to print some message or to printing some variable value. Okay, someone is saying, asking something, or okay. Okay, so as of now, just assume we are using this system.out.println for what? For printing any message. So if you want to print any message, you have to add this double quote, and inside that you have to add this message. So this is num2, this is num, and we'll add here integer value. So this is num2 double value. Okay, and after that we'll add one more statement and we'll print num2. Okay, so if we'll run again, we'll get the output like, let me scroll this up, or let me add this in this side. Wait, yeah. So here, this is num int value. This is our first system.out.println statement. So first we have printed which one? This first message, this one. Okay, then we have printed this num value. So in num we have declared this 10, so they have printed this 10 here. Okay, then we have declared this double num2 equal to 10.50. 10.50 is what? 10.50 is double type of value. So we have initialized this num2 with 10.50. Then we have added this system.out.println statement for printing this message. This is num2 double value. Then we have printed this num2 value, right? So for declaring any value into variable, like that variable concept is clear for you? Like why will create any variable in any programming language, not only in Java, in any programming language, that variable concept is same. If you want to use that C program or C++ program, in same way you have to create that variable and you have to initialize that variable with some value. If you want to print any message, their syntax is different, but the the method I am following for that, it is same in all programming language. You have to initialize that variable with some value, you have to add some statement to printing any value. After that you will be able to see that message in output console. So this console is what? This console is our output console. Okay, now now we'll see what. So we have let's say int num equal to 10 and num2 equal to 10.50. So if you want to add these two number, right, you can add these two number also. So I have added here one system.out.print statement and num plus num2. Now tell me what is the output for this one. It will do what? It will do, it will add this num2 and num, and it will return that output, right? So if I'll run this program, if you see here, we got here 20.5. So what is the output? They have added this num and this num2 into that. So we have 10 plus 10.5. It is nothing, it is 20.5. So for adding value into like we have added these two value into single one. So num plus num2. For adding those value, we are using this plus sign operator. Okay, so num plus num2 equal to 20.5. Okay, so any doubt till now, any of you?
No, sir.
No, no.
Okay, now we'll back again to this one. So in Java, we have different data types, right? Okay, so now we have covered like how we'll store any value into integer data type, or in double, like how will like how can we we have created this num variable and now we have declared some value. Same in num2 we have created one double type of variable and we have initialized it with some value. Okay, so now we'll see like in data type we have different data types. So let me create one box here. Okay, why it's not working? Yeah, so not this one. So this is nothing, this is our variable. Okay, so we have two types of variable in Java, right? So I'm just creating one nested form for that. So what is first one? So first one we have primitive variable, primitive, primitive, you can say primitive data type, data type. Okay, and second one is non primitive. Now what is the difference between primitive and non primitive? So first we'll see primitive one and second we'll see non-primitive. So like I will clear like what is this primitive and non-primitive. Let me add some statement here. So we have here we have declared one integer num variable, right? We have initialized that variable with 10. So their type is primitive variable, because we have stored single value into that. So if you want to store single value into any variable, so num is what? Num is primitive variable. Why? Because it contain single value. Okay, so if we want to store any single value into any variable, that variable is what? Primitive variable. And if we want to store more than one value into same variable, like we have one variable and in that same variable if you want to store multiple value, so that is nothing, that is our non primitive variable. Okay, sorry, variable. So we have two types of variable. One is primitive variable, other one is non-primitive variable. So in primitive variable we can store single value into that like this, and in non-primitive we can store multiple value. For example, if we have 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, we can store these value into single variable, right? So that is nothing, that is our non-primitive variable. So that is the difference between primitive and non-primitive. Okay, so okay, time is 9:30 now, so that's it for today. So tomorrow, we'll discuss in depth in primitive variable and in non-primitive variable. We have different topics inside this primitive and non-primitive. So tomorrow we'll complete this primitive and non-primitive one, and for each data type, we'll see their program and everything. Right. So today we have discussed what? Today we have completed. Let me save first. Let me save this one. Control S 5. So today we have covered this one, platform independent concept. Okay, then multi-threading. Then one topic is architecture. Why in Java architecture is neutral, and then we have discussed this variable point, right? So tomorrow we'll discuss in depth regarding this primitive data type and non-primitive data types, like how we'll take value from. If you want to like here I have directly mentioned like int num equal to 10. So if you want to add some value into that, if you want to give some input, so if you type something, let's say for example I have I will enter some value here, right? So if I'll type, let's say in user console I have entered 20, so that 20 will store to this num variable. So that type of thing we'll discuss tomorrow, and how we'll store multiple value into single variable, we'll see that one also. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining. We'll meet again tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.